Is toaster gas?
Hello and welcome to Monday. So I did my skincare routine and then I put on some body sunscreen on my face because I ran out of my sunscreen, and this is me journaling. So yeah, why don't we take a moment to talk about why I wanted to start this channel and what it's about. It's basically just a way for me to express myself and to show you a bit of my life. I aim to be as realistic on here as possible, just to help you feel like, you're not alone. And I think the choice of loser diaries is interesting because I do feel a little bit like a loser most of the time. And so, if you feel a little bit like a loser, come join me and we can be losers together. This is my outfit that I'm picking, jeans, what it looks like, and then I ran out of phone storage, so I just spent the next hour clearing storage on my phone. And now we're back on track. This is me walking to the train station. I have an hour and a half commute, so... And then I got my daily steps in with UNSW's ridiculous amount of stairs. Oh, and I went to the nucleus, by the way, because I was asking about transferring programs already. And then I did some study, I think. Or I think I watched my lecture, something like that. And now you get to see my outfit looking cute. I made that sweater, by the way. And then I went for some lunch. I had pesto chicken. And then I went to a lecture for my design class. And then I went home. I had noodle soup for dinner. And then afterwards, I just cleaned up my Notion for tomorrow. And bam, it's Tuesday.
You're so cute. Wanna say hi?
This is my cat Violet, by the way. I think she's like 8 or something now. Oh, and I went to the gym. This is my Stray Kids hoodie from the Dominate tour. It was freaking awesome. And then I ate some breakfast. And apologies for the kettle in the shot for most of this video because I had no idea it was there. Yeah. Nor did I have any idea that the salt shaker was in your view as well. And look at that, she realized. And with that, I was done. After breakfast, I think I checked Tumblr and probably my emails and attempted to do some kind of schoolwork. And then I went to work. I was working until about 8 as a medical receptionist. Plot twist, I actually resigned from this job last week. And then I went to uni the next morning as per usual. I think this was about 7 a.m. or something because I had a 9 a.m. lecture. And then as I was walking into uni, I saw this little heart-shaped leaf and it was really cute. And then this is obviously my outfit. Oh, I had an optometrist appointment. That's right. Oh my gosh, I skipped my lecture for that. Yeah, so I did the eye test at the UNSW eye clinic. Here are some of the glasses I was thinking about getting, but then I actually didn't get any. And then I went to the law library to catch up on the lecture that I missed for math. Another shot of the sky after I finished choir practice at the Clancy Auditorium. This is me on the light rail, going home. I think I got home at like 9:30 that night. And then I was running late the next morning because I had to take a splinter out of my finger. And then I watched my lecture on the train. Oh, and then I went to the library with my friend Radula. Here she is. And then we got some food.
From here?
And then after my design class, I went home. By Friday, I realized that I needed to lock in, but I proceeded to not lock in and instead go to the gym. And then I kind of locked in when I was on the train. I was crashing out more, to be honest. When I got to uni, I watched my lecture and then I did my pre-tutorial questions because my tutorial was next up. Love a good bathroom fit check. I actually lost this sweater last week, by the way. And then I studied with my friends outside of the Elect building, and then I went home and enjoyed this very flattering angle of me doing morphing wing compliant mechanism designs. This is an actual representation of my bicep, by the way. And I went to the laundromat on Saturday morning, which was great. And then I went to Kmart, enjoyed the fit, and I picked the best shopping trolley ever. And look at that, dry clothes. It's my cat again. This is my desk setup, and I did even more doesn't study. I was drawing my mechanisms today.
We're getting closer, inches away. Lose composure, greatest mistake. Friendship's over, won't be the same. 'Cause baby, I'm yours.
And then afterwards, I did the Mobius lessons for this week. Hello, it's weekly wrap-up time. This is my mug. It's my favorite. I think this has been the most stressful week of my life. One of the most stressful weeks of my life. I think this week I just had a little bit too much fun and I didn't study enough. I feel like starting uni, I feel like I'm not doing enough, you know? I feel like that's the general gist of what it feels like to be in university is like, I'm not doing enough, you know, I'm not meeting the criteria, like I'm not smart enough, you know, like why am I not pulling 100% on all these lessons and quizzes, you know? Like for one of my subjects, I thought we had absolutely nothing to do, which was the wrong assumption. And then I walk into class and suddenly I have 3 assignments due in the same week, in 2 weeks. And I was like, I haven't started any of that, which is stressful, but it is what it is, you know? It's got me thinking, like, doing engineering is really hard. And people told me that it was really hard when I first started, before I started, sorry. And I was like, oh, it's whatever, you know, I don't really care. It's fine, like, I'll deal with it. And now that I'm here, oh, it's only week 3. Right, I think it's too early days, to be honest. But now that I'm already here, I'm like, this is terrible. I'm actually gonna have no social life. You know what I mean? Like, by the end of this degree, like, I'm actually gonna have the smallest kind of social, oh, I feel like that's too much now. The smallest kind of social life you've ever seen. It's gonna be minuscule. It's gonna be non-existent. Which is not good. My course convener this week when she was delivering a lecture was like, you're a UNSW, you're not here to be ordinary. You're not gonna sit in my course and be ordinary. You know, you're gonna be amazing and you're gonna change the world. And you're gonna build things that change the world. And I was like, oh, like that's a nice sentiment, you know, it's really nice. When I think about it, Does everyone have to change the world? Is this a weird thing to think about? You know, does my name need to go down in history as like maker of cool thing that did cool things that allowed people to live more efficient lives or whatever? Is that what I want? You know, is that what I'm working so hard for? Or is it okay to live a life that I feel satisfied with and not be a workaholic for the rest of my life? I think since graduating high school and taking time off, kind of realized that maybe I don't need to change the world. Maybe I can just be ordinary and have an ordinary job and have friends. I can have friends, guys. I can have friends. I can have friends and I can hang out with those friends. Yeah. I think it's kind of sad. Like, I was so excited to do all this learning, to do all this cool stuff, and now I get here and it's like, oh, yeah, this is not really the jam. You know, maybe I develop a new theory, or, you know, I revolutionize the toilet or something. Oh my gosh, that was terrible. I'm so sorry. Like, I invent something awesome. Maybe I invent like an electric toaster. Maybe those already exist. I don't know. I mean, is toaster gas? Oh god, that makes me sound really stupid, doesn't it? I think it's actually electric. I don't actually know. Yeah. This is not who you want to be your engineer in the future. This is that's it. Thank you. Hello, sunshine. This morning I had an early shift at work, so I was doing my makeup. This is how I walked into work, and this is how I walked out of work. The exact same. This is a Labubu that someone left behind last week, so I took it home. Next up, I did some hand washing, and then I continued on with some schoolwork. And if you're wondering, yes, I do have two keyboards. One plugs into my laptop and the other one doesn't. I mean, which one do I like better? I like the black one because I like how the keys sound and it's really soft. But then the wireless one, the white one here, is a bit more convenient to take around with me. And then it was bedtime.